up, guys? Team Set West, Discraft Underground, team captain. Of course, we got the man making this happen, Alex. Alex, how are you?
Doing well, doing well.
Awesome. We took a little break, but we are back at it. Lots of life things going on, and we are super excited for our guest tonight, fresh off his chase card appearance, which is on YouTube. Go check it out. We have Mr. Michael Mayo.
What's up, guys? How y'all doing?
What's up, Michael? Thank you so much for joining us. I know I had mentioned this, but as the team captain, I always get really, really excited when I see my players doing big things, especially some chase card coverage at a Disc Golf Pro Tour event. That is no small deal, so we're super excited to have you join us tonight. And we're really going to talk about the Jonesboro Open weekend that you had, and so we're going to jump right into it. We know that you are from Arkansas, and you are maybe semi-local to the disc side of heaven course. Is that correct?
2.5 hours out or so.
Okay.
So pretty close.
Pretty close. A little bit of a drive still. So you had got some practice rounds out at that course. And what were those practice rounds like for you? And what was your game plan going into the tournament?
Practice rounds were good. I got about 3 really good looks at the course, and that allowed me to really get some quality practice in. I was able to throw every disc that I felt like I might try off the tee pad. So I was able to narrow those choices down and approach the rounds with a lot of confidence in the disc selections that I would be making. That's always a troublesome spot when you're leading into a big tournament and just trying to choose between a disc or two and approaching it with confidence. But those practice days gave me some good confidence for the disc choices and gave me a good solid game plan as far as where I wanted to be in the lineup after each round. So I saw myself around that 5 under range. I could do more, I could do less, but 5 under was kind of the mark that I was looking to meet after each round.
Nice.
Out there at Jonesboro.
Were practice conditions for you pretty similar to tournament conditions? I know the wind in Arkansas is always a huge factor, especially on a long open course like that. Did you get pretty consistent conditions with your practice and tournament play?
Consistent is not what I would say is a great word for Jonesboro in any way.
Yeah.
Wind is volatile out there. It's gusty. It'll be 20 miles an hour, and then it'll be still, and then it'll switch direction. So practice rounds did give me some of that, which was good to kind of get that in my head as I was going to be making some decisions as far as like running a putt downhill into a headwind. Like you might need to lay that up and just take your medicine before being taught a lesson by Disc Side of Heaven. So, but yeah, they were fairly similar. There's always wind out there, and it's good to understand like how the wind is going to move through those hills and valleys and through those tree tunnels out there.
Nice. That really leads into my next question is, just can you talk a little bit about just being adaptable on these big courses? Obviously, you got in some practice rounds. Conditions vary, but it seems like these Disc Golf Pro Tour courses are getting longer, and especially some of the ones like this that are more open, you can find yourself in a lot of different places. So, I guess what are some of the things that you kind of used to stay adaptable as the situations changed throughout the tournament?
Yeah, adapting is really key out there. Finding like wind indicators, at least for me on these longer courses. What I was feeling on the tee box would be completely different 200 feet away. And when you're trying to get 400 feet, 500 feet down a fairway, the leaves, the little flags, Disc Golf Pro Tour had a lot of feather flags out there. So those were really helpful. Nice. And it would be crazy your feather flags at the tee box would be blowing one way. The feather flags up near the green would be going in a completely different direction. So it was a lot of just picking a fairly stable disc and just trying to trust it out there in the wind.
Nice. Well, we do have a giveaway. We got giveaways back. I have just a couple of these left, but we have a really beautiful TS Dub stamped Jawbreaker Challenger. I know Michael loves the roaches, but we got a Jawbreaker Challenger. In order to be entered to win this, head over to our Facebook page and share this video. We'll get it posted on there as soon as it's live. So share it from there. I will go through the shares directly from the page and randomly pick somebody to win that beautiful disc, and we'll get it shipped out to you. And of course, remember to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe. Both of those things do really mean a lot to us. So if you could take a quick second and do that. And I'll throw it over to Alex.
Yeah, so during round 2, you found yourself on the chase card of a DGPT event, which is, I mean, that's hard to do if you're touring, right? So
Yeah.
what was that experience like, earning your way onto a card with some of the best players in the world in Dickerson, Girthy, and Presnell? What was that like? What was going through your mind, or did it kind of change your approach to the round at all?
Well, there was definitely a lot learned during that round. There was some nerves going into it. I will not lie. When you're stepping onto a tee box with the people that you like, fantasize playing rounds with, and they're right there. And it was a really, really cool experience. And they are like super nice, super down to earth. It was a real pleasure playing with them. I found that I'm not playing the same game as Garrett Girthy at all.
Not many people are.
Oh my gosh, it was insane, and he is even smoother in person than he looks like on the videos. At one point, I asked him if one of his discs had his passport up to date, because I felt like he was throwing it into a different country, because it was just insane how far he would throw that disc.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, we were playing different games. I think at one point all three of them went with these crazy wide hyzers around like 500 feet in the completely different direction than I was looking to play. So it was apparent very quickly that we had different game plans, but we could still all score the same. They were just taking a different approach to it. So
yeah,
it was a lot of fun.
I think that's a really interesting point, in the fact that, like, being moderately local, you had the opportunity to get those practice rounds in, because we hear about players going to courses early, getting practice rounds in, and feeling comfortable. And like, if you execute on a game plan, it doesn't matter how far you can throw. If you know exactly where you can score and what to do, that's what's important at the end of the day. So kind of with that experience, right? That star-studded moment, the adrenaline of coming off a first round where you're right up at the top. What did this tournament teach you? What are you looking for in the next time you get out to Jonesboro on the tour, or your next big event, or even just for next season, because this season obviously is rolling down a bit?
Mm-hmm. I think I've grown a lot as a player and as a competitor as a result of even just that round and that tournament. I found that position is everything, even like down to like 4 or 5 feet worth of position, because you could all be on the green, but still having very different percentages at scoring, being just a few feet off from each other. So that was something that I learned as a result of that round. I was finding that they would group their shots in a very specific area on the green, and I was looking for circle one, but they were looking for, left side low circle one. And so that kind of precision and that kind of direction that they were taking was definitely something that I took note of, because there were points that I would be in circle one but slightly out of position, and they were in circle one with wide open looks. So major differences there that definitely, you store away, and you're thinking next time, like from tournaments from here on out, whether it's Jonesboro or wherever, like I'm taking note of where I want to be very specifically and aiming for those points.
That's really interesting. That's a totally wild concept that I had never even thought of, really. Is like, I've heard "what's your miss" before, but I've never heard something along the lines of like, where on the green do you want to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense, right? If it's a downward sloping green and you feel more comfortable putting up, well, make it so it ends up on the low side. That's really interesting. Wes, I think you had something too.
Yeah, I was just going to echo the same. And I remember for CCR Open, talking with some of the pros, our course is similar here, where the landing zone is very specific to set up your next shot in the highest percentage possible. So that's something I had never heard prior to conversing with some of these touring pros, and so it's interesting to hear you kind of echo the same as part of your experience as well.
Absolutely.
Sweet. So we had a bunch of fan questions. We want to give a shout out to everybody that posted a question for Michael. We had Kirby Willis, Kimberly Jones, Matt Scott, Ryan Shepard, Joe Stierhoff, and Brian Wolf. And then we got 2 more, and those will be our fan featured questions. So thank you all, to all those guys for submitting a question. And our first one will come from a fellow Wesley Freeland. And he asks, what was the strongest part of your game at the Jonesboro Open? And what did you see that you need to focus on next?
I think my strongest point was probably putting. There were multiple times that you'd catch a shot that went maybe off the basket, off the band, and would roll to almost outside a circle, and you had to make the comeback or to even stay within par.
Yeah.
So that was, I guess, the most consistent part of the day. The thing that I would definitely love to have another crack at is some of those drives off the tee. There were a couple of drives that just put me out of position, and now I'm looking at bogey at best. And so a couple of those drives, I definitely want those back. And so that's something that's just those 450-foot drives that I need to be able to land within 30 feet or so. Like, that's what the practice rounds will consist of now.
Yeah, that actually plays perfectly into our second fan question from April Ashton. So which hole at Jonesboro would you you'd love to get another shot at, or you couldn't get it dialed in on that weekend? What specific hole was really up there?
Oh, man. I'd like a few of them back. Let's see. I would say for one hole during one round, hole 14, I stalled one out, had it land out of bounds, and it led to a double bogey. I mean, that if I could have landed that in bounds the same as I did the first 2 rounds, it would have been a completely different story. It kind of robbed me of some momentum. I think I was like 2 or 3 down at that point, and you go from that down to straight back to even. You're like, oh, that evaporated quickly. I worked hard for that 2 under. Yeah. So definitely would love hole 14 back. The big kind of top of the world flying down 530 feet into that like little narrow gap.
Yeah,
love that one back.
Yeah, I hear that.
Sweet. Well, we have some rapid fires. I feel like we have missed these maybe in the last video or 2. We're bringing them back in full force. I know people love these. I know I love them. I guess we'll find out if you love them. Just 10 quick questions. These are a quick answer, 1 or 2 words. Feel free to take maybe just 1 or 2 seconds to think about it. But otherwise, we're just going to pop them off. You ready?
Let's go.
All right. Your favorite color?
Green.
But you got a blue shirt.
I know. And, it brings out my eyes. That's what I got.
Oh. Good choice. The favorite disc in your bag?
The Zone.
Ooh.
Favorite disc golfer, male, female, or both?
Paul Macbeth, Paige Pierce.
Good choices. Your favorite place that you've ever traveled? Doesn't have to be for disc golf.
Ooh, Colorado. Love the whole state. Doesn't matter where.
Yeah, those mountains are beautiful. The best course in your home city or state that everyone should play?
Persimmon Ridge Resort. Everybody's got to play it.
I've heard great things about it. I've seen a lot of pictures.
It looks great place.
Those were some of the first tournaments back, right? They were hosting a bunch of events out at Persimmon Ridge.
Yeah.
I remember seeing that. Those were so good.
Nice. Your favorite thing to do off the disc golf course?
Play with my kids. Kind of a cop-out answer, but they're full energy all the time. I love it.
That's a great answer. You had a pretty great card this weekend, but if you were to build your dream MPO card to play with, who's on it?
Oh, man. Paul Macbeth. Come on. let's see, Andrew Presnell. I really like playing with him.
Yeah.
And Simon Lizotte. I think I'd love to see some of the lines that he would throw.
Oh my God, both him and Double G are just they do some wild things with the disc. So this is kind of a fun one. Your rating at the end of the year 2021.
Oh, I want it over 1,000 for sure.
Over 1,000. There you go.
I want it at 1,000.
1,000 even. I know you want more, but we'll say
I want
1,000.
more. But yeah.
If you weren't a professional disc golfer, what would you spend your time hobby-wise doing?
Probably hiking, backpacking.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then we're going to start doing some YouTube lives. We're going to bring Pat into the fold. We're working with him again, and we're going to do some YouTube live sessions. So one Discraft Pro that you would love to hear from in a live setting. Aside from Paul. Can't be Paul.
Yeah, I keep saying his name over and over again. Paul Ulibarri.
Yuli.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one. We do need to talk to Yuli again. It's It's been a while since we've talked to Yuli. It'd be cool to catch up with him again. But again,
he's had an exciting end of the year.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Again, Michael, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We're so excited for everything that you accomplished this past weekend, and we're excited to see what's next. But right now, we're going to give you a minute or two to thank people, give shout outs, challenge anybody you want. So the floor is yours.
Awesome. Well, definitely thanks to Discraft Underground for being my sponsor, Persimmon Ridge Disc Golf for being my sponsor as well. You guys have been with me, and it's been great support from you guys. Family, friends, thanks for everything all the support that you guys have given me through Jonesboro, and then hit me up on YouTube. I'm out there slinging disc. Come find me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
Thanks again, Michael, for joining us. We'll put a link to Michael's YouTube down in the comments. Go watch it right after this if you're still with us. He's doing a ton of great things. The City Shots video is still one of my favorite. I've watched that video probably 3 or 4 times because it's just so entertaining. So go check out Michael's YouTube channel. And at the end of the day, Alex, one thing left to do. What is it?
Make that putt.